Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3, and in this particular video, I want to talk about how to actually keep in touch with your professors after graduation. So if you don't know me, I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out to get through graduate school that I decided to pay the favor forward and help you out as much as I possibly can. So this is probably geared towards more of the undergraduate student that is maybe thinking about doing graduate school in the future and thinking about, how do they actually keep in touch with their professors? Because sometimes when you keep in touch with your professors, you might be able to ask them for a letter of recommendation in the future. Maybe you can maybe you can actually go work with them eventually or something like that in terms of a research position, or you're working as, that you're asking them for an advisor, something along those rules. This email is going to be, or this video is going to help you out tremendously in terms of figuring out how to actually keep in touch with these particular professors. So when you're keeping in touch with your professors after graduation, what you should be trying to achieve or thinking about is not trying to be transactional in any sort of way. So what do I mean by transactional? This is you thinking that you're going to get something out of the relationship. It just doesn't work that way. You have to think about a long-term relationship. And whenever you build a long-term relationship, it's just like if you're building a friendship, for example, or you're building, maybe it is, you're courting somebody for marriage, right? Not as a professor. But if you're thinking about it, you have to think about these very long-term relationships. And how do you build these long-term relationships? You don't start off with being very transactional, trying to get something out of that particular relationship. The simplest way that you can build a relationship and keep in touch with your professors after graduation is just sincerely show your appreciation. Maybe it's once, maybe it's twice. So what you do is shortly after your class, or if your interaction, you might send them a really nice email, just say that you really appreciate everything that they've done. It's made a difference in their life. I do this on somewhat of a regular basis, not all the time, but yeah, I do that. If I'm thinking about them, I might send them an email and say how much I actually appreciate them. You can use any sort of software that's out there, like LinkedIn or whatnot. It's probably the most common to find somebody and show your appreciation, but an email is fine as well. You can usually find their emails on the website. What you're looking for with building a relationship and these long-term relationships, so that's probably the first step, right? It's a really simple thing. Just say you really appreciate it. And then say maybe in 4 or 6 months, you just send them a quick email and ask them about their opinion on a particular thing. So what you're trying to do, instead of, forcing the relationship, you're just asking them for advice on something. So ask for something that's really, really simple that you've maybe been struggling on for a long time. Just reach out to them. And normally most professors are pretty nice, and it should be something that's really easy for them to give an opinion on, or a thought sort of on. Maybe it's, they can write 1 or 2 lines and just say, after you've graduated, and you're working at a certain place, for example, you might reach out to them and just say, you know what, I'm encountering this problem in my workspace. Do you have any sort of advice, and how do I pursue that? And, some are not going to reach back to you or respond to you, and that's fine. That just means that they're either too busy or they're just not the type of person to respond to that kind of stuff. And then you just want to wait for a bit. And if you get a response, then you just say thank you and very much, and then go and actually implement the thing, or do the thing that they actually told you to do, and respond back to them in a couple of months and say, this is what happened. And this is really exciting. I found these kind of results. What do you think about this? Right? And they might be curious about that. And what you're trying to do is always trying to frame it and make the email around the professor and about the other person. So this is a way how you actually sell somebody on something, right? If you didn't know that. And what you're trying to do is just make it about them, and have them at the sort of center of the, of the email. And that's how you're really trying to do it. And you just kind of, you show gratitude really is what it is. And you're trying to just build this longer term relationship with them. And you just recognize that they are really good at problem solving and that they're probably really quite bright. And you just continuously build this relationship. And then every once in a while, especially if you're in town, you stop in by their office and you stop in in person. Maybe if you're still on campus, you just stop in person. You show appreciation, just be absolutely genuine with them and show them that, that you really appreciate what you did. It's kind of awkward and weird. But at the same time, it is really nice to get that kind of stuff, right? And over time, the awkwardness does disappear, as long as you're not being kind of weird and crazy about it. You just build a relationship with that particular person, and these relationships are really helpful often in terms of maybe it's building contacts. Maybe once you get to a role, maybe you're 10 years out and you need to hire some people. They might know some great students that can help you out. There could be other things, right? So maybe you want to go back in and become get your MBA or something along those lines. Well, then after that, you have a letter of recommendation. You build a relationship with somebody and you're showing genuine interest in somebody else. And that's really what it comes down to, is just showing interest in somebody else and just getting yourself, instead of focused on you, having yourself focused on them is going to go a lot more ways. And it's everything in life is like that. If you haven't figured that out yet, it took me years to figure that out, and I'm still figuring it out. The more you put your focus on somebody else, the better that things become for you and how you and all the opportunities that you get. All right. So hopefully you like this email. If you do, give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. It's really nice to get those thumbs up, and as well as do subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right. Take care. Bye.